Imaginesim, back at it again, finally with another video. It's been so long, but I'm excited because today Imaginesim released their ATL airport for X-Plane 11. Yes, that is the second airport Imaginesim has released for X-Plane. This is huge because, as you might know, there's already another airport for X-Plane, Nimbus. And not that old Nimbus from 2 years ago. Nimbus just released their new rendition of Atlanta Airport version 2 last weekend. So this is going to be an in-depth comparison video between the two. Right now, I'm in the default 737, situated in gate A1 of Nimbus's Atlanta. And boy oh boy oh boy, this is realistic. So, give me about a minute, I will get right to the comparisons. Yeah, so right now I'm at Nimbus, and I'm going to compare them. This is the new Nimbus version 2, and then I'll kind of go through them for a little bit, and then I'll go after that and watch it. I did a poll on my Insta, so that's why people said pick Nimbus first, so hold on a second. Thanks, Carter, for the follow on Twitch. Just make sure all the social media is up to date, you know, how it is. And hopefully I'm on, yeah, I'm on YouTube. I have 4 people watching. This is great. So, let's get right to it. Default 737, I just want to be as easy on frames as possible. I have literally no plugins at all. This is complete default X-Plane. I want to be as fair a comparison as possible because, you know, gotta be fair. Everyone has their different machines and all that. Currently, I know I don't have this listed up. I have an i7 7920 HQ, an RX 560, 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM, LP DDR4 RAM, 2 terabytes of Samsung NVMe SSD, and yes, my friends, that is a MacBook Pro. Don't worry though, I'm running Windows. Let me prove that to you. Boom. Windows. Okay, let's get right to it. So, Nimbus version 2. Let's go through the slight bits of what, you know, what's been released. I got it pulled up on my second monitor over here. So, updates include major rebuilding of all the buildings in Atlanta, customization of new textures, PBR materials, physically based renderings, amazing. New terrain work and mesh data, something that is going to be a huge part of the comparison. Their anticipated plugin, which, as you can see right here, shows a little bit of gate information, a little bit of information about your weather, pressure data, local time, and then you can actually input right over here where it's a Nimbus Airport's info screen, your destination airport, let's say KORD, and departure time, let's just say 12:14. Accept. So there we go, we got on time, 1 minute till departure KORD. It has all that set. Caution, it's very nice. Very nice. I can adjust the time and it'll adjust with it, which is very cool. So, other features include some of the major overhauls to Atlanta in real life have been modeled, as well as, this is a really cool feature. So if you're at night, Atlanta had this new sky pavilion put over the entrances to the south and north terminal of the domestic. If you're not from Atlanta, I don't think you're gonna know what that means. If you you see my cursor that's over here. So this is South Terminal, this is the North Terminal. It's international, it doesn't have any fancy coloring. So, if you go to night, let me just go zoom past unrealistic. Boom. They've completely redone all of their lighting, which is absolutely fantastic. And get this. So this is great. This seems so realistically modeled. Man, that's great. This is cool. So in that same plugin, go to KATL. Another problem. Okay. Oh, that's sad. So this doesn't dynamically change. That's kind of bad. But these are dynamically changeable. I was disappointed with that. Actually, I didn't realize that until now. That doesn't stay lit, which is bad. But does that? And then also the control tower has dynamic lighting features, so you can choose different color options. Let's go to node, so you can fully see everything. Look at that PBR on those buildings. My God. Man, okay. And complete groundwork upgrades. If you remember, I don't know if anyone remembers, but this is a comparison video. Yes, this has received lots of updates, but you know, you gotta get into the down and dirty. Look at that mesh. So, if any of you guys don't know, custom mesh is basically when they take all the terrain data of real life and they implement it instead of just default X-plane, you know, scanning the earth and guesstimating what heights things are. So these guys, along with Imaginesim, went in and went straight up, you know, modeling some of the mesh. And, you know, there's some great parts elements and some bad elements, which, okay, let's not use the word bad. Let's say needs some improvement. Great. This Delta Maintenance Center, like, if you have taken off from, you know, the northern runways facing west in Atlanta, you know that you kind of go above this, and it's so cool how you look down. Or if you're going through the international departures, when you drive down this road over here, you can, oops, that was bad. Let me move. So excited, my God. You can see planes, you know, above you, if you know what I mean, like the actual airports above you, besides this, you know, maintenance area, which is very cool. Yeah, this is a classic scene for me. They've drastically improved the textures. Like, I remember before, a lot of these were just photo imagery above the buildings, and then that's it. But now they actually modeled it, which is great improvement. Another huge thing, individual jetway gate numbers. So I guess you can know what gate you're at based on looking at the jetway. Kind of cool, kind of extra, like it's real, but like, some of the disadvantages. Okay, so these are maybe personal, maybe petty, but considering we live in 2019. Okay, wait, let's hold on before I go into the disadvantages. That's a walking person. Do you see that? Do you see that? That's an animated, live, dynamic, walking person. And then, these are animated, live, dynamic, walking people inside the turn. That's amazing. You know what? That's all. It's like it models it. Like, yeah, they look crappy, but like out here, people gonna care? Yeah, you can't see it here, but like, are people actually gonna, you know, care about the fine details? It's those fine features that improve it. Like, it's a $29 scene. Full disclosure, I paid for both of these. This more indirectly, Imaginesim straight up bought it. So this retails for $28 on the org store. I got it for points because I first owned the V1 and I had some org points, so I used that. But full disclosure, I paid for it. The other one, it's £24.99 pounds. So British pounds. Take that as well. It's about $30 now. So let's basically go right through it. So Nimbus Atlanta. So we have some great mesh over here. A little lower of the resolution. Like this, I don't think this is my render settings for X-Plane doing this, because there are some other airports with a little higher ortho or custom ortho resolutions at the same settings, honestly. Some great features, like this highway goes underneath. Very cool, very cool. I wish they took a little more care into it, because it would be cooler if the roads actually went under the bridge, or sorry, under the the runway and the taxiway, not kind of, went into this tunnel, came out the other side. I wish they took a little more care into that. But then again, it's really cool how they, modeled all this. This is the Southern Runway 28/10, which is the newest runway in Atlanta, the 5th one. They have, if you're not from Atlanta, they have a lot of races here, like running races here, because it's kind of the excess runway, but it's being used, it's useful. That's some cool mesh. So you can see the height difference, and honestly, this mesh looks great because look, it's not just raised above the ground. Yeah. I mean, look at that. That's pretty sharp. That's something they kind of have to refine. But this a little slope in the runway. I know X-Plane has sloped runways, but it's not. It's just finer details that make it more realistic. Yeah, taxi. It's not as sloped. So it's like a realistic slope. So I'm moving on this parallel line between the runways. Ooh, that is a badly modeled plane. Well, okay modeled plane. Yeah, look at this. This is a little, up and down, which is very cool. This is runway 9 right / 27 left. I like those little bumps there. It's fine. I think they went and actually looked at the airport to see, what it's like. That's great. Like, you can see, it's real. Because airports aren't flat. No matter how realistic, like, how well people design airports, no matter how much money a Middle Eastern, king will spend on an airport, there'll be some discrepancies because it's the world and it's Earth. Okay, let's go through this building. Wow. So if you notice, this is the T terminal, basically where all the domestic passengers check in. This is the little MARTA area. So Nimbus, I don't think actually modeled the MARTA train. I'm not gonna say I'm disappointed, but like, it's very unique to Atlanta. MARTA train, if you're from Atlanta, like, yeah, you're gonna have how do you zoom out that far? So basically what you do is you press C. So if you're in the plane, you can actually, if you just shift 4 and kind of if you just press comma, you go out slowly. For shift comma, you go way out. But the problem is if you press C for free view, it goes a little slower, but you can still zoom out really far. So it's comma and period. Period goes in, comma goes out for zoom out. It makes sense. So technically, plus or minus is zoom in, zoom out, but this kind of moves your camera position. But let me go back to topic. So these are, oh man, I got my views messed up. That's fine. So I'm gonna try to view all these comments. I want a full screen so I can like really, show you guys what I'm talking about and all this. Look at that view, man, it's great. Actually, you know what? Let me find a way. I don't. There should be. Let me just use something. Alright, there we go. I got it pulled up. So comment away if you have questions and whatever. But yeah. Yeah. So basically, oh, look at this. Okay, so before they didn't necessarily model any of the top details. Looks like they got some atrium things. This is the center between. I'm gonna give a lot of Atlanta history, Atlanta airport, like facts, not history, just facts, or maybe some small bits of history. I'm an Atlanta native. I'm not obsessed with the airport, but like, I love it. Traveled through it a lot. This is great. So we got some AC things, some pipes, small details. I like this. It's very nice. So ACs and fans aren't spinning. I'm not going to comment on that. I think it's great that they just modeled that in there. Like, it would be nice if they're spinning, but like, then again, are you really going to be paying attention to those things? Same thing with like the interiors. Is that, like, it's very cool how you can just look a little bit inside for the terminals and see. So this is another cool thing. So this is what the Atlanta airport, check-in and baggage. Okay, so it looks like they didn't model this at all, which, like, I don't mind. I really don't mind. They kind of got, like, no, it's cool. They got the actual, like, T gates. So, look at this. If you actually go in here, you can see a little bit, which is cool. It's very cool. It's like, they did put effort. I like how they put effort. You know what? I'm gonna commend them on that. That's nice. This is a bad little, like, not bad, okay. I like how they put little jetway markings saying which airline it is. Atlanta has that for a lot. Actually, over here somewhere, they have Southwest, yeah, over there in the Seagates, they have Southwest. But, big no-no when you do that is... Big issue. Actually, wait, I need to change the settings. Wait a second. I accidentally put my push to talk button, or push to mute button. Ooh. How do I do this? Mic off. There we go. There it is. Hotkeys. Control. No, I don't like that. I don't like that. Okay, backspace, I guess. That's weird. Tab. Okay. So I guess good. Cool. Back at it again. Okay, so, sorry about that. Little bit of, nothing. It's personal. Okay, so, something you don't do if you put so much effort, into putting the airline on every jetway, is you don't put Delta on American or Delta on United. You don't do that. Like, so much effort. Like, come on, they literally have Chicago where they did this. Why couldn't they do it here? I'm not gonna give them lots of crap for that, but it's if you put so much effort to do it, people will complain. Okay, it's like you're paying $29. Like I'm not gonna go about price. Like that's unfair to like keep going on crap about price. Oh, I like this. Look, it says delayed 60 minutes. That's pretty cool. I'm not scheduled for any flights. Whoa, that is cool. That is great. So between F and well, these two taxiways, little slope right here. That's amazing. That's amazing. Oh look, we have a little A320. Not little A320 on Spirit. Yeah. Ooh, looky here. Another thing they haven't modeled: the Porsche headquarters building. Something that's been here for many years. Okay, I don't know if I should complain about that. I mean, look at this. They got the Delta 747 with the Delta backwards, without winglets. Don't know Marvel things. That's fine. You know, they put some effort. I'm not gonna commend them too much, but like, we gotta be critical here. I love this. Atlanta's hometown airline for 70 years. That's some great attention to detail. That's good. The Renaissance Hotel. Man, it's good. What else? The Delta headquarters buildings. It looks kinda sorta really generic. Like, there's Delta branding on here. I know there is on the actual buildings. They didn't. I'm not gonna use the word bother. They didn't do that. We have some of the cargo ramps. They put some static planes. Oh, a lot of people are having this issue where, well, I'm not gonna use issue. Like this little thing where like half of these gates are filled with static aircraft, and we know that now with World Traffic 3, now just like global and what I have running now, live traffic, which I love, you don't want static planes. Oh, and another reason, you want to be as realistic as possible sometimes with flights. So you want to be at exactly the gate departure. You can't always if you have static planes, because you'll spawn right on top. Yeah, Nimbus did an okay job with that, with not making you spawn on top by removing those ramp starts, but anyone this issue with this update or upgrade, you can now change that setting. It's not through a setting. You have to actually replace the Earth Now data folder. It's if you get Nimbus version 2, it's a second thing. It says no static. Good thing, a bad thing with that. A great thing which they did is they put ramp starts on all of these gates. Yes, let me show you. Every single one of these gates. Every single one. That's great. They added jetways. And animated jetways to all of these gates. Great. And they made it, not super cluttered, not everything. It's like they've really made two different versions. One minor thing which they didn't do in the non-static one was, like, okay, if they went all out, no static, that would have been fine. They're trying to save your frames or whatever. They added all of these, like, ramp cargo things and all this Delta maintenance aircraft, so it's not like, I don't think they really care that much about impacting the frames. I don't think they took out this whole Delta Museum little exhibit outside 747 DC9/MD80 and 757 painted. So I had to go in and kind of replace these. So I don't know. Hopefully they'll update it so this is persistent, like literally all of these other static things. Oh, look, a United thing. Yeah, it's not daytime, so that's why it's 10 o'clock at night, so there's not going to be a bunch of static planes. Not static, AI planes coming in. Oh, it's Atlanta. Busiest airport in the world. Of course there's a bunch, but it's not a lot. So let's look at some of the textures, though. So if we go really close, I'll pan through each one. They've done a good job kind of upgrading this airport for 2019-2018 standards. Like, there's nothing super. I don't think Atlanta did that much 2019 versus 2018, but they did like over a $2 billion massive reconstruction. Like, lots of things they added, which is so cool. And Nimbus has done a pretty good job with adding those things. This is a nice detail. So I think every gate has this. Now let me show you something that has bugged me so much since. Okay, the first version of Nimbus Simulations Atlanta didn't have it. That didn't have any. Okay. Sorry, another break. Why do I keep doing this? I like this little duty free things. something that's bugged me so much since they kind of updated it, and I'll get onto the little issues with that. When they updated back in December of 2017, they kind of did honestly, a massive, like, that update was bigger than this update. I'll explain it. I'll talk about this later, maybe after I review the Imaginesim, or after I finish kind of really going over this, where they added, oh, this is cool. So this is the little wavy roof. Kind of did an okay job with that. Okay, no. I like how they kind of put this at the right angle. It's cool. Missing the back ones. I'm not gonna complain super much about the interior because you're in flight sim, you find the things. Something that absolutely bugs me so much. I went to the forums like a lot when they announced that they're gonna do version 2. Like, I was fine if I had to pay for it. I just needed to be right. This is not security check. Security check is like way over here, which is not an issue, honestly. My major issue is this. Okay. If you look at this over here, these jetways, they come into the building at the absolute wrong place. F9 over here is supposed to come in at this lateral angle over here, and F7 way over here, like put them next to each other like that. Actually right here. Instead, they basically, this goes straight into the, check-in area, and then F7 kind of goes into this weird, I don't even know what, it doesn't even like connect into a real place. Like, yeah, this angle is right, but like, what is this? It's honest to God, like, so weird. I literally, so these are auto gates, by the way, like, straight out of the bat. I'm going to complain that they're not SAM, but let's first finish all the benefits and all the good things about it, and maybe some of the small, meaningful gripes, because having SAM or not having SAM is not it's not a make or break feature. Sometimes it could be, but, I'm trying to help you with this, because they're basically very similar price things, and they came out within a week of each other. Come on. Or 1 week, exactly 1 week, Friday and Friday. So I really hope that if they're making a rendition of Atlanta, the busiest airport in the world, that they should kind of, make the gates look real. Because I know an auto gate, I remember looking at it, they have straight on jetways that come straight into the tank. I don't know why they had to do this, but honestly, I am going to complain about that, because that it just hurts realism by a lot. So, some of the upgrades to the airport they didn't include. I'm gonna look at Imaginesim and see if they did. They didn't include this A380 dock, which, if you guys know, the A380 has been coming to Atlanta with Korean Air the past several years, and has been using E1, E2, kind of parked right here, and E3, and 2 jetways attached to it. It's very weird. But then Atlanta, with their $2.whatever billion upgrade to the airport, which is barely noticeable, but these guys did a really good job trying. Added a little extension on gate, what is this, F3, to give that upper deck A380 jetway. And like AutoGate, you can't, like, that doesn't work. AutoGate only connects to 1, so fine. At least if they modeled it with a static, that would have been cool, but yeah. So that kind of makes this a little dated. If, like, some parts dated, some parts new. It doesn't look out of proportion, but that's another common feature while you're doing this. This looks good. It looks realistic. Someone who doesn't really go to Atlanta that much, you'd probably think that, hey, this is real. This looks hella real. And look at those animated walking people. That's cool, isn't it? Yeah, they're just walking around. These cars and stuff, don't worry, if your plane comes close, they will stop at their given points. These are highly trained card people, airport people. I'm kidding. It's just there. It's developed. Ground traffic is hugging this window. Look at that business traveler, man. You can see the animation in him carrying this. It's great. It's just great. This is nice. I really wish you could kind of, see through the other side for planes. You kind of can. You know what? It's not a problem. Okay, let's move on. I'll have some of the detail they took to this pavement on the side. That's really nice. It's actually nice. Hand-placed baggage, grouped. Uh-oh. No traffic jam. That happens a lot in Atlanta. Anyone who's from here, you know that. Sam Millerton. No, that's not traffic. Oh, that's an old question. Sorry, that's not Traffic Global. That's Live Traffic. I've heard about Traffic Global. I super was about to buy it, but then I realized I would rather have not realistic but real traffic, which is, I don't know, less populated and all that, instead of going messing around and having all of these like super populated things. I will definitely consider getting it when I make some sort of upgrade to my machine, so I can it can handle that obviously, but it's not helping. And honestly, I don't really use it now. A lot of the things I do, I'll try some. If I really want traffic and stuff, I'll fly online, got some, or I'll just use live traffic. That's good enough. Like really quantify real things. But yeah, coming back to this model, man, this is super. Like desync issues. That's not anything they can do. That's a resolution thing. But they've really gone all at it. Like, I'm gonna take it back. It's not date. That's the one feature that was missing. Maybe a couple over there in afternoon. Otherwise, they've really like this doesn't look like 2017 or 2016 about it. This looks very recent. This is good. Yeah. Another, not gripe at all, but this, like, I love how this attention to detail for every single gate having a gate marker. That is intense effort, I'm guessing. They'll look the same, like in the real world, since, okay. I know I said I'll be going to some small history into Atlanta Airport. I have to go up here. Okay, for those who are not informed, the Atlanta Airport actually opened in 1947. The Atlanta Airport we know today opened in 1980, which included terminals T, A, B, C, and D. Or T, A, B, C, D. And D was completed after 1980. And then they extended to E for the Olympics in 1986, and then F in 2012. So, not only are some of the jetways old, yeah, maybe they've done some upgrades to some of them, but that's another reason. They won't be consistent, but as you can see, every single jetway is the same in the entire airport. I even thought I was just seeing things by thinking that, but literally, like, if you can go into their folder and stuff, everything, like, it would be nice to have some some differences, because such a high quality. Look at that animation. Sorry for getting distracted, but like animation above the control tower. Fun fact: Atlanta has the tallest control tower in America. Doesn't seem that tall, but surprisingly it is. It's not even the biggest. Like it's the busiest airport in the world. But traffic, passenger traffic, traffic, all that. But physical size, it's definitely not like Dallas is bigger. Like a lot of American airports are bigger. Like this, they went all out with the cars. Man, that is a frame killer. Okay, actually no, I can't say that. My frames are pretty good. I'm like well above 30. Well above 30, which is great. Hand place buildings, I like this. This is a hotel, I believe. That's this is a construction zone. This, you can easily tell this is photo. Actually, you know what? I'm not very convinced this is even ortho. I really feel like they used to have like just photos, because I remember underneath the actual runways and stuff was garbage. I remember that. It just looked terrible compared to my ortho out here. A little tidbit, for both of these reviews, I will not have ortho, right? So I have ortho for like, can't see it here, like all around the Georgia area, except for here, because this airport, as well as Imaginesim, include custom mesh. I mentioned it before. You can see that in several places, and that so far doesn't have a patch file for ortho for XP, so we're not going to be able to see some of my very lovely ortho, which is extremely high resolution. It was great, but it didn't match, so I think these might be color corrected ortho or whatever it was. Oh, look at these signs, man. Yeah, see, look how the signs kind of just are random compared to at night. I saw a satellite image. It's not like there's a little color symmetry, and you can see the color differences between the actual, like this is imagery, and this is probably some sort of corrected imagery. And I wish they blended it better. I really wish they did. Like, it's very low resolution. They probably took it from some of their older products, which is fine. It's just, I'm not going to use the word $29. I'm going to use the word 2019. You see some very high quality freeware airports with extremely high resolution ortho. And relatively speaking, phone shouldn't be that bad. Like, okay, if it's the custom mesh areas like this, I'm totally fine if the ortho is like garbage. I'm fine with that. If it's their ground surrounding over here, I don't know. It's kind of nice how they planted literally a car in every spot, which is amazing. But every spot that kind of kills frames. Well, if you have like a 2080 Ti, it's not gonna kill it, just hurt it. But even that, yeah. Okay, so going to mesh. So every other part of the airport that has mesh, train, differences, whatever, is modeled except Taxiway Victor. And those asking, Anish, what the hell is Taxiway Victor? Well, I'm gonna tell you what Taxiway Victor is. So basically, this little roundabout taxiway right behind the runway. And yes, that seems very dangerous for planes to take off, and then other planes to go right behind. That's the point, Taxiway Victor. It's supposed to go about 30 feet under, or not 30 feet, like a fair bit. I think it was like 3 meters. It's a noticeable amount under. And so far this goes about, I don't know, 1 meter under. That's technically a petty complaint, but if they're saying ultra high definition, amazing custom mesh, this is literally the one feature the Atlanta airport paid for the mesh or the actual terrain to be different. They actually meant for that. Over here where the the maintenance is under the runways, because they built the runways. When they had the maintenance, they needed that flat, and they just didn't want to spend the money to flatten out the runways. It's very nice how they, use the detail on that, so that's nice. Actually, technically, it's supposed to plateau. I'm not going to be super pesky on that, because I know I couldn't do it. This is like a handmade mesh. Probably took months. So let's kind of wrap this up. This was supposed to be a little quick, and people to just view literally the whole thing, even if they don't want to hear me talk. This, by itself, the scenery is $28.99 in the York store or wherever you can buy Nimbus products. Let me just zoom out all the way so you can see the whole airport. It's all glory. Ooh, that's some tearing. I wanted to take off all the tearing and stuff so I get the maximum FPS possible. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to resync back on. Okay. That super barely helped. I don't know if that did. Comment if you think that helped. Whatever. Oh, no way, it's Expat Aviator. Aren't you the guy that I was talking about on these accounts? Great. So this is Nimbus Atlanta version 2. I'm almost wrapped up on my thoughts about it, and don't worry, I didn't really start that long ago. About, let's look at this, yeah, not that long, 40 minutes ago. I was going through all the features for all the uninformed. But basically, let's go through all of my little gripes and my analysis of it, like a standalone, just looking at an airport. $28.99. You were getting very detailed textures and buildings and marked ground markings. You're getting auto gates. You're getting fully completed, route networks for your Just Flight, Global, your World Traffic trees, your all of those. And, in hindsight, you're getting a very high quality airport. Some of the things you're not getting are the highest resolution of ortho scenery. Up here it looks great. If you go in there, you can very much notice it. Like if you're in the airport, let's zoom in. So this is not ortho anymore, the terminals, which is great, it's modeled. Some of the middle ground is, and if you actually really go into it, you can see it. I've viewed that before, and some of this on the other sides, you can see it. It's not that best resolution. Some of the surrounding areas aren't necessarily modeled. The Porsche headquarters is a notable thing. Some of the gates in the F terminal. Also, yes, it's custom auto gates, and let's go right in. They look great, but then again, this is 2019. It's been 11 months since Sam came out. This came out last week. I don't know if it's right or wrong to gripe over an airport not having Sam, but because as I was informed a couple months ago, it's about $300 to get your airport certified, like allowed to use Sam per airport. I don't know if it's still like that. This is a couple months ago. Don't check on me for that, but it's probably hard. Maybe they put a lot of effort, but each gate is the same. Yes, they're highly detailed. Yes, they have some cool animations. Let me show you. So this is connected. A1. If I remove, the cover goes down, which is cool. These AC ducts kind of go up, lift, and the whole jetway moves up, which is pretty cool. Honestly, very cool. But it's an auto gate, so it still remains the same position. I like how it kind of does this extension. I think they coded that little animation, and then they kind of just edited AutoGate. But AutoGate has reached its peak. I mean, there's so much more people want, and Sam just has it. So I know this sounds very mean, and I have a lot of respect for Nimbus, but it would be very nice to go to the new norm of using AutoGate, and considering like many other developers, even ones who were reluctant at first, have switched over. I feel it's good for you to switch over to, and so many other things you can add in with scenery animation manager. You could probably do all those lighting things easier. Probably, I don't know. They probably put a lot of effort. And another thing, you're getting mostly the modern rendition of Atlanta. Mostly like those exceptions, pretty much just F terminals, like where you don't see that. Otherwise, this is all up to spec for the new features. You're getting pretty cool features, with the info screen that we see in Nimbus Chicago that just came out, and then the lighting, that dynamic lighting. Although you have this issue of not being able to see it at night, when literally that's the only time you see lights. It's cool how they change color on it, so that's pretty cool. Same with the control tower. Let's make it red. Red and white. It's like the Atlanta airport-ish colors, yeah. And let's go back. You're getting PBR textures, 4K PBR textures, which, you know, basically almost all the latest X-Men technology. But then again, what's unique about them? What have they done which is really like, looking back, if you go to fxelite.net, great website to look at X-Men news, or thresholdx.net, both great ways to find X-Men news. Threshold X is mostly specifically for X-Men. You can see that Imaginesim announced, like, Nimbus said they were going to, update all their airports, but Imaginesim announced their desire to go to X-Men, and that they will at some point, and then Nimbus immediately just pulls up renders of screenshots, and basically all they had as improvement was Mesh. I think these are all updates. So, as an owner of the previous version, yes, I did get this from org points, but that's basically money out of all the other things I bought. I could have, it was $19 if I wanted to buy it, like version 1 to version 2. I still have to pay $19 from the $25 I had to pay first off. They already updated this airport in 2017. Yes, this is 2 years later. This is almost 23 months later. So I get that, it's a long time. Yes, they deserve one. But that update from version 1 to that updated version 1 was more of an update than this version 1 to 2. Yes, they probably redid all the buildings or rebuilt everything, but it's that value aspect of, like, what makes you think this. And I'm going to go back to this when I do my proper comparison post Imaginesim. And yeah, so does anyone have any more questions about anything else they want to see in this at all? Just post right here in the chats if you want. I'm guessing Sam Militant, expat 8 year. I don't know if you guys, whatever, want to see anything else from Atlanta. Nimbus Atlanta. Nice night textures. That's pretty nice. The lighting. Pretty cool. Default explain runway markings. That's interesting. Okay, little gripe, which they haven't fixed since V1. Like V1 as in like 2013 or 14 when the original Nimbus Atlanta released. This is something that I bet everyone has complained about. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when you take off from runway, you don't line up onto the approach lanes, right? So that is something they haven't fixed in a long. Like, they have defended themselves over and over, saying, no, in X-Plane, this is where the runway starts, and whatever, blah blah blah. That is simply not, always the case, right? There's definitely ways to do these things. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm the best. I'm not capable of making an airport this good at all. But if pretty much, like, I have barely any. I've done SAM. I've added SAM to some freeware airports of people. Example was CVG. I don't want any shout outs or anything. It's like, it was good. I had a fun time. I just like it because I love SAM. I was able to tell the developer and help him too with that. Like, getting this out. I was experimenting myself, and I was able to get these things out. And I still don't know why. I don't know if he just doesn't want to or whatever. Maybe they have other priorities, but this is it's not major, but it's a minor detail. It's something people will notice and notice and notice. But then again, this mesh way over outweighs that. So, before we bid adieu to Nimbus for Imaginesims, let me just switch over. Now, man, would love to see Imaginesim. I'm going to Imaginesim right now. Hold on a second. Alright. Let's transition. Let me quit X-Plane. This is harder than you think. You can't just quit and then just press open Imaginesim. It's kind of more difficult than that. I have to go into my custom scenery, get all... Where are all these folders? Yeah. I can show you guys. Wait, that's not something I don't have to show. Alright. So this is what I use for, like, this is my cheat thing. I put like a desktop folder called custom scenery. And I have to go find all the Nimbus. It is here somewhere, yes. Nimbus Atlanta, Nimbus Atlanta. Roads, Nimbus Atlanta, V2. Oh no, that's not something. Basically everything with the words Nimbus and Atlanta together. Let's see if there's anything else. Yeah, we can leave all that other stuff in. That should be fine. And then, oh, goody. So now, this is very cool. Actually, where's my diamonds folder? This is something I appreciate. Didi Druzeki design. I don't like saying that word. Who's the only person at X-Plane to do it? Finally, Imaginesim has done it too. Documents. Where is it? It's somewhere here. Yeah, there we go. There's an installer. I love installers, okay? It is a pain to get things in the right folder and whatever, because every developer has their different ways of doing things, and it's just a headache. These guys just make it easy. Literally, yeah, okay, check, yes, next, install. It's easy, okay? It's easy. Updating component registration. Yeah, so if this comes up with I need a register thing, I'm gonna have to go to that, because this is a proper comparison. I'm not gonna give you guys, cheat codes and let you, get off my license key. This is supposed to be something for you guys to know, understand, and comprehensively pick your own product. Although, just kind of thinking about it again, I don't know if you guys really care about merchants and where you buy things from. Oh, that's cool. Finish. I want all the features. Oh, this is nice. This is very nice. I like this a lot. Yeah, this is cool. Operation Center. That's actually epic. No, we don't use prepare preview. This is nice. I like this. Let's go back into X-Plane. Let me just... X-Plane should be loading. Yeah. If you have a black screen, don't worry, it will come back at some point. But basically, if you care about merchants a lot, and Imaginesim is solely located on their website, Imaginesim.net, and Nimbus, I believe, is solely located on the X-Plane store.org website. I believe. I'm not super certain of that, but I think so, yes. Yes, actually, no. I'm corrected. Nimbus is solely sold on the store.xplane.org website. Imaginesim is solely sold on the Imaginesim.net website. Another thing, if you guys are really care about this, store.xplane.org does not take American Express. I don't know how that affects you. If that does, whatever, that's really up to you. That's something you guys have. Oh, I don't like this at all. When I mean I don't like this, I mean usually when this comes in, that means it's a default airport. I really hope this is not the case. Please, Jesus, no. If it is, I'll quit and come back. That's fine. It's not a big deal. but yeah, so I'd like to see the install. Oh yeah, I just put in the install for Imaginesim. I literally just did it. You just start. Oh, I'll rewatch some of the stream later. No, I just started. So going back to X-Bite Aviator, I just started. I'm literally putting on X-Men with Imaginesim. I haven't. This is my first time putting it on. And Sam Wilson, I just ran through the installer, like literally 2 minutes ago. That's not true. Okay. I'll kind of show it to you again, like a goofed up version. So, put in my documents. The scenery comes up when the scenery has defined taxi routes. I didn't. Yeah, you're right, but the thing is, every single time that's happened, it's not the custom scenery. It's like either just the default scenery or whatever, because X-Men has those rules to submit to the gateway. Hopefully you're right. If you're right, it's pretty cool. But then, my perception for other airports will change. But look at this first. You click on imaginesim.exe, literally press next over and over and over. And then there's a point where it tells you product key. You'll get that in an email. Don't worry about that. Oh, yeah. And it's very simple. I love, I don't know if you saw this operation center. That is cool. Okay, that is really cool. That you can, like, on the fly. I don't think you can do it on the fly, but in the sense, instead of reinstalling, whatever, what you want. I like that. Okay, I sent the chats ages ago, so let's see. Yeah, I know you said that. Okay, I'm just going over that again. Okay, let us focus. Ha ha ha. Is that Sam I see? Yes, it is. It is Sam. The one and only Sam. Okay, let me. Well, it says automatically connected to JetWays. Unfortunately, it has not automatically connected to JetWays. That is a problem. Ooh. Imaginesim. Goofed up on the parking spots. Dang. Okay, how do you start a default 737? I'll just kind of push back. No, let's go through the airport before it says, okay. I see a major discrepancy. This is the most bone-dry apron I have ever seen. I don't know if this is, I do know this is probably very real. I love these polygons. But life! Imaginesim, come on, where's the life? Like, come on. There's nothing. There's like static. Ooh, that's gonna, I don't know if that's gonna affect my judgment now, but after seeing that, man. Okay, this is, it's like, you might see this as a lower FPS, but I can assure you it's about 1 FPS lower, so take it as you will. Aha! Imaginesim has only put static aircraft that are necessary, which are these 3. I like it. You know what? I know I should be going to the terminals first, but let's look at these accessories. We got our classic AirTran. Ooh, I thought they would change that by now, but I guess, yeah, I think they did. AirTran has been gone for 8 years. And these are some empty, well, empty as in not modeled, that's okay. It doesn't matter if they're modeled. Renaissance Hotel. This has color in the name. I like that. This Delta building, with Delta on it. I wonder why. This is the hangar. Yeah, nothing modeled like in Nimbus. So far what I see, the actual details look a little a little more crisp. I don't know if Nimbus like just took their old buildings here because I guess they didn't feel the need to. Like Nimbus does a little look like in some ways looks more 3D, these ways. And this way, like this looks like they kind of just painted this and put it on, but they actually have the word Delta on it. So I like this fly Delta just 3D thing. That's cool. 747. Love it. Actually, let me turn up the texture quality. I don't like this one bit. I don't know if I can do this maximum compression. I don't know if it's gonna help anything, but okay, let's not go maximum. Let's just go high. High is supposed to be good. So yeah, we got the parking areas. I know I didn't necessarily go through that with there, but nothing really see. The Porsche racetrack. This has been here in Atlanta for a while. I love this. Oh my god, that's nice. Yeah, you can't see that from the air. That chat pane over the screen is kinda in the way. Oh, sorry, you want me to take that off? Yeah, I can do that. Let me just type that. I'm sorry, that's my normal stream thing. I just needed that to see. It's fine. Okay. So this is the Porsche building. It's kinda modeled. Kinda, sorta. Oh, bad FPS. Ooh, choppy. Oh no. Why is that so choppy? Oh, that's good, but like, what the heck? Textures didn't improve, so I don't know why it's choppy. Yeah, these models, compared to Nimbus, like, I like how the Delta is the right facing on that, but it's not fair to say this is no Mr. X or an actual 757, but man, that looks pretty ugly. I'm not gonna lie. Let's put that back to medium. I'm sorry if that looks awful. Yeah, it's okay. I don't know why my FPS went down. That's so weird. Please disregard that. If that's a problem, Imaginesim. Gotta take that into account. Ooh. So this over here is supposed to be a little wall, supporting the F terminal ramp from the rest of the ground. That's not modeled. I like how these parking things are modeled. That's actually very real. This curvature. This building looks superb. This looks very nice compared to Nimbus. The F terminal building. That's one of the places you really see for detail. Oh, okay. It looks like they haven't modeled any of the insides. It's okay. I mean, it's kind of cool that Nimbus had. But yeah, this F terminal looks nice. This looks very nice from the outside. Inside, not modeled. I'm not going to complain about that. That was super cool how Nimbus had. Okay, so it's kind of modeled. Yeah, like out here. That's cool. It's super cool how Nimbus had the live moving people. Aha. Looks like developers do know how to put things right. So this is the correct way of Atlanta Jetways looking. Over here, not over here. But, Imaginesim still falls to that little complaint I had before of the same jetway. I know they can't really do much, but I know for a fact Atlanta Jetways don't all look the same. And looky here, so F3 is not modeled either. This is just a jetway. Even though there's a big little pavilion building thing that comes out for A380 terminals. Imaginesim, I really wish they had it, because Sam, you can literally make a jetway go up to the A380 door, and Sam, that's a feature. Ooh, I love this. Mesh up. That's you can't see it here, but then when you move over, I'm sorry, not. Ooh, I feel bad. They need to fix that. That looks. Ooh, looks like they didn't finish the mesh. It's nice though. You know what? That's a real feature. Atlanta Airport, the ramp is not the same height. F Terminal's ramp's a little bit shorter. You can see it. I like that. That's great. They look like they have honestly, every gate, love that. I don't like it when senior developers don't include every gate. Little thing gripe I had before Nimbus fixed it like that. Now the question is, yeah, okay, so they have the smaller gates. The gates, I really wish, like, there's some payware developers, and some even freeware developers, like, go all out, especially now in Sam, on their custom jetways, which look perfect and they're different. I know it's too much to ask for to be realistic. Like, chat, oh, wait, so what's disappointing? Imaginesim, right? Wait till we compare it, though. Like, the building stuff, so it looks like they put more things over, but the textures of the building. Let's go into night. Okay, so the lights, they're white. That's interesting. Imaginesim's is yellow. Another thing, Nimbus is yellow, this is white. Another thing, these guys have the new top of the new Doppler radar instead of the old, spiral radar, and that was pretty cool with the whole color change thing. Also, you can actually see more of the apron. A bit more, not much more. Like, marginal. It's still black here, which kinda sucks. Again, with the default X-Plane color of... Oh, is that... Oh, you can see the mesh. Wow. Oh, let's go over there before... Oh, PBR. PBR. There's still PBR. Don't worry. Is the PBR here better than Imaginesim? I'm sorry. Why am I thinking... Is the PBR in Imaginesim better than Nimbus? We're gonna have to check that out over the course of the video. So, it looks like Imaginesim is not, the plug-in coder type, but this is cool. I mean, come on, it's the American flag, and then this little color thing. I don't know if that's something you can edit, or whatever. It's cool, it's a nice feature. I'm not gonna complain that you can't custom color it, but yeah, take it as you will. Over here, this southern cargo area is just desolate, which it's fine, honestly. But for night flying, honestly, this ramp area is good for night flying. Okay, I'm kind of concerned why live traffic is not. It says aircraft displayed 3. If it doesn't work in this airport, no, that's not true. Imaginesim is completely compatible, as seen with their literally default X-Plane. No, not default X-Plane. Like, so well coded X-Plane ground things that they show up as default X-Plane in the, ramp stuff. Oh, I love this. Oh, they actually went all out with the textures. I don't know why it's low. I can't put mine on maximum compression. Ooh. You don't put a United advertisement on the Delta side, because as we all know, Atlanta people, the South is for Delta, and the North is not. As you can see, I love how they put Delta outside. That's a nice touch. Here, there's the static. There's Delta on both sides. That is a problem. Is that a cigarette or 747? It's a version. Yeah, this is definitely. It's not supposed to have an ounce of Delta on this side. That's big. But then again, do you go right there and do you view that for 24 hours? These little discrepancies in the rails. I don't think the actual rails move though, and I don't think they finished it. There's supposed to be another set, and they didn't go out with the parking lot. Take that as you will. I don't know if that's important for you or not. Also, these rails kind of just end. That's, I don't know if I should say disturbing, but weird. They didn't do some of these random buildings outside. I don't know why there's no highway, what the heck? Maybe it's because the terrain is under, oh yeah, okay, I understand. I'll reload the train if I have to. So, something is on. What is on? Oh yeah, I turned this on. I forgot about that. Okay, I'm gonna leave that off for now. Okay, so let's go out some of the other features. Ah, FPS kill. These orthos look better. Yeah, they look crisper, they look realer. They look, I can believe these. I like these. They also have their little mesh thing going on. Let's see how well they did compared. Yeah, okay. So it looks like in Nimbus, the buses go under and then they come back like in real life. Imaginesim it's not like that. Again, take that as you will. That's not there yet. You can see how maybe they tried. They did do this. I love that. They mark every inside and outside like exit to the airport. That's great. The mesh is smoother. It's not as sharp, right? Like, see, it's weird. Sloped runways have been a feature of X-Men for a long time. Like, I don't know if that was the thing from the beginning or not, but like, so Nimbus having Atlanta first, the only one with Atlanta, and then releasing it, updating, and then releasing it again, but like with the feature of sloped runway. Yeah, okay. So this is kind of sharp, or it could be realistic. Aha! Like I said in the end of the video, where the heck are the markings? There's no lights on the pole, which is good in here, because in real life, planes don't land right on the pole lights. Yeah. This is real. Oh, that's a good view. Oh, that's some really good PBR. Oh my god. That looks great. I don't even have my settings cranked. That's great. Man. Let's look at some of their other examples of this. I think this is not supposed to be necessarily raised. It's not. It's fine. There's not many places where it's supposed to be raised. Here's an example of where it is, and it doesn't look as this looks is some choppiness. There is some choppiness. That is way too sharp. But Nimbus, I think by far with the runway straight up, did a little better job. Lot, I don't know. Because, man, this is choppy. I don't know if you'll feel that because look, this is steep. Like, this doesn't look that steep, but this is steep. Like, you could feel that. I bet you could feel that. Yeah, so it also looks like these guys didn't actually model the underneath as bridges. They kind of just modeled it. I wish. I mean, it's literally a 5 or 6 year old scenery of. You can look this up online. That runway crashing. That's a runway crash waiting to happen. Yeah, that is. Can we see 27 left final? Yeah, we can see 27 left final. Oh my god, so I'm not actually getting bad FPS. It's weird. It looks like I'm getting bad FPS, but I'm not. Okay, so this is 27 left final. Got your approach light. Got your 27 left. Let me go full out, right angle. That's what it looks like. I don't know, do you want me to do it in the night? I'll just go through it. Yeah, I love landing at 7 left. Man, it's nice. I don't mind the default X-Men lighting. Yeah, it's nice. Although, I super wish they kind of matched colors. I like... It's been a while since I've been to Atlanta at night, so I'm not very certain if they refreshed the whole thing to white, or if they did. I wish they, I know, I recall it being a little lighter. It's okay though. It's, like, I think they did a little better job. Again, I think they, comparatively, compared to Nimbus, their lighting is a little more effective, in the sense that, Atlanta, actually, I just checked it now, they did change their lights to LEDs. say better and all that. So color change. Also, you can see a little more of the tarmac, just very slight bit more, but I believe Nimbus is a little darker. But then again, I don't think a lot of airports do a great job with lighting. Like Frankfurt. Frankfurt, man, that has the best lighting. Frankfurt, Aerosoft Frankfurt. That's great. So if we go here, this is a big selling point, mesh. So this is a mesh example. If we compare, so yeah, this is steep. I think that's supposed to be that steep. So if we look at this, it's very, very steep, man. Yeah, that's bad aviator, you're right, that's a crash waiting to happen. Look at these ramps, how they just go down and up, and it's not that steep at all, my god. If you went in like a CRJ in that steepness, god, that's gonna hit the tail. Like, this is not supposed to be this smooth. This is supposed to be slightly, like, Nimbus goes too far with the decline. It's not that steep, and this is too smooth. So this looks like, man. Like, I remember, it is a slight decline, so I like how they kind of went for it, but they went too far with it. It's supposed to lower a little bit, and then come up a little bit. Basically to even this out. Like, I think Imaginesim, they're used to prepare 3D, and this is like, after Austin, this has a little more mesh. So I think they really played with it. Taxiway Victor. Aha. So it looks like they did model how. Oh, it's a lot lower. Man, I like it. It's like a considerable amount lower. Okay. I love this attention to detail. This wall. I remember flying in from New York a couple weeks ago, and I saw this wall. And Nimbus didn't have the wall. So you can see with the ortho, I think Nimbus went for the more realistic looking colors, not real imagery. And then Imaginesim went for the real imagery. I think they're used to this. That's probably why it makes sense. I agree. But so that's why, like, actually there is real grass here. If you don't know, like, not real as in they've hand-placed grass, volumetric grass. I like it. It's pretty cool. It's random, but it looks real. But the thing is, with that real colors versus real photos, you get that, back and forth. So do you want the realness of the photos being there? Okay, let me take this comment. When I flew into Atlanta real world, I was surprised at how the 26 left taxiway and runway was raised up, given how... So Nimbus version 1 is flat. Yeah, this is literally... Nimbus version 2 is literally the first time it's mesh. This is also the first time is mesh. Like, this is a great usage of mesh. Yeah. But they really played with, like, each of them, each on their own, but they kind of aimed for the same areas. I am very impressed about this mesh, like, this runway kind of going underneath. It's supposed to go, like, what was it, 10 feet below? This seems right. Now let's look at individual markings. Aha. So, yes, all the jetways look the same. I think this might be even the default SAM jetway. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, Nimbus did put the care into making their own ones. Actually, these look somewhat textured, but again, this is petty. But they didn't write Delta markings on the American Airlines jetways, because that's rough. And, well, I mean, it's weird. Imaginesim literally has Delta jetways. I don't know why they didn't put it on the Delta side of Concourse T. That's weird. Whatever. Also, this looks a bit dated comparatively, if you think about it. So we don't get those fancy boards as we do in Nimbus. These are literally just texture placements. If you guys, by the way, if anyone wants to Frankenstein the Imaginesim and, the Nimbus one and this, and did I see the R right was missing? Let me go to that. Okay, while I'm talking about this. if you try to Frankenstein everything together, oh no, it says 8 right. Now this is real. It's like that. It's like 8 first. I think they can do that properly. I don't think they have a problem with that. But if you do, that's illegal. It's highly illegal. If you just Frankenstein it together, I mean, technically they wouldn't know, but it's wrong. Don't do it. A big point of this video: you pick either or. You know, it's life. You don't get all what you want. That's a very sad thing to say, honestly. Like, with X-Men Senior Development, but you kind of have to pick either or the other. Okay, I don't like this. This is, what the heck? They didn't do cleanup. Cleanup on aisle 20. Huh. In hindsight, though, like, they're both real. The thing with Imaginesim is, like, they've had their Atlanta in general longer, and there's, like, I don't know if they'll admit to this, but this could very well be the buildings, the object file of the buildings just copied over from prepared. And I'm not, honestly not gonna complain about that. It's pretty good. Like, it's not, like, there's some parts like this which are supposed to be a little more 3D-y. I think Nimbus does a great job, but then Imaginesim does make up with all these details above. And I think Imaginesim has done a good job. So, like, I did complain before about how Nimbus version 1 and all the version 1s used a photo imagery, basically, of the terminals above, but the Nimbus version 2 kind of took that out and I think he modeled it straight up. Here, it looks to be like a blend of both. And yes, you get these kind of really low resolution things right here. But it's, in hindsight, fine. But then again, you're spending $30 on a scenery. Sorry, £24.99. And you guys know how the pound's gonna be in a couple of months. That's my Brexit joke for the day. Sorry, all British people. I agree, that does look like, it does. All of them do. They legit all look like they just imported it from P3D. Like, I mean, I guess, I don't get, like, screen tearing things where it's, like, nasty, but, like, yeah. The thing with X-Plane specific things is that you see that, like, reflectiveness. So you do see the reflectiveness, and it's like they post-added PBR. I think that's what they, instead of natively, because even if, this is a good example. So it looks like they in post added PBR to their terminals. So this is nice. I like this reflectiveness of the water drop. These are some nice details that actually Nimbus didn't have. Atlanta is an old airport. It is too busy to be the best maintained. I remember a couple of years ago it was 10th worst airport in the world. Yeah. I'm not. I love Atlanta Airport. I don't care for what people say. But yeah, it does look like P3D went through their whole PBR thing like last year, but that's not how converting from P3D to X-Men works. I'm not an expert, but that's not how it works. It doesn't just magically have all the features. You have to actually go around and do it. So I think they were in the process. Aha, that's a bug or thing. That's a huge gap. That is you can see clear light between this separation. That's gonna annoy a lot of people. I like, okay, so if this is a couple of years ago, and if I didn't see that Nimbus thing at all, actually if it was, even today, if I didn't see the Nimbus's fancy little board, this would be okay. It's a little high resolution. I like this B36, I like this. It doesn't necessarily have to be on here. That's tedious work. I would rather be spent elsewhere. I'm not going to complain. I think it's so cool how Nimbus did that, but this is fine. In real life, this is how it is. F terminal doesn't have that anyway. They're probably going to replace all the gates anyway. But that departure screen is cool. And also another thing, so I love how they use the SAM. I really wish coming up. So I don't know if you guys know already. SAM version 2 is gonna come out sometime, and there's a lot of new features like these little screens right here, which are technically visual dock guiding systems, will have some of those features that Nimbus board, excluding your departure and arrival airports, and the time you're going to leave. That's very cool and very niche. They'll have pressure data and maybe time data. Yeah, this already has time data, but this is here. This is UTC time. It's not local. The other one's local. So I don't know. It's up to you how you think about that. Now, hopefully SAM will work. Now, this is kind of upsetting how you're in a scenery, and when you pop in, a huge feature doesn't work on the ramp start. I really wish they went out and tested all of them. Nimbus, thankfully, every single gate, if you go to it, every autogate connects. Autogate is actually more tedious than SAM. You can kind of like fake out all the jetways to being shorter than real life, longer than real life, or longer than extensively possible, shorter than possible. But I know I didn't do this in the other one, but I'm gonna take the 737 for a little spin. So super short run. Did that start? Is that not gonna start? No, that is gonna start. Okay. Start those fuel pumps. I haven't flown a 737 in a long time. Half of it, 737 Max. Yeah, not gonna talk about that. Half of it, I don't know. I haven't really flown modifieds in a while. I don't know why. I mean, I love it, but I think it's half my computer, half lots of news. Okay. Got your buses in. Now we start the engines. No. Let's go. Okay, so I'm not doing a 737 startup tutorial. I'm really gonna tax it. But oh, that must suck for you guys. It's like ear rape. I'm sorry. I can try to lower that. Yeah, it's not helpful. That, I don't know. Is that fine? Anyone comment. I think it's okay. Okay, regardless. Let me go start the other engine. Okay, don't have to worry about labels or anything. Let's do. No, I should have gone in the map dog. I don't know why I didn't do that. Yeah, that's a nice FPS. It's weird when you get better FPS in the plane than not. That's pretty smooth. Huh. Yeah, Imaginesim did use that little nidbit as a selling point. And with complex cockpits, you will have. Yeah, what I just did was super illegal. I just took out better pushback from my plugins just because I wanted to be as fair and whatever possible to both. So we take a little quick look. Yeah, sorry. We take a slight bit of a quick look. That is, yeah, it's gonna annoy me, but if you look at all the different bits of the airport, just looking at it, what do you think? Like, fine now? But what do you mean by fine now? Like, explain yourself. Explain it. Yeah, I should have gotten the Mad Dog. That would have been super Delta-y if I just wanted the Mad Dog. But I'm just trying to be light on FPS and whatever. I'm literally just gonna go around the airport just for fun. But in a 737-800 just because I can. I can go in an Aero Light or whatever. I have a F4U Corsair, I think, or it's not an F4U Corsair, sorry, an Amamachi 339. It's a tiny plane, I don't know. This is weird. It's the first time I'm getting better frames inside the cockpit than outside. That has never happened to me before. That's not possible. That's like technically not possible. Like, yeah. The sound is fine after you change it. Oh yeah, okay, good. I didn't want ear rape. I didn't want you to, hear ear rape or anything. Especially in airport review. Oh, another thing. The guys have, I think that was Xcoder's little thing, which is super cool, called, I think it was a sound package, which was in his airport. None of these airports have it. Let's be realistic here. That's probably a lot to code and all that stuff. But if you just look at the scenery, just like looking at it looks that's a terrain jump. Yeah, I mostly want it because you're gonna be flying in big boys, not in like an Aero Light, but that's some steep stuff, man. That's steep. Oh, that's a jump. Ooh. That is jumpy. That is very, very bumpy. I mean, yeah, I'm probably going way faster than... I can look at the charts, but... okay, it's... No, that's live. Let's look at that throttle thing. I don't like that. I'm just gonna... flaps through so I don't hear that. Flight content. It's not smooth, the terrain. Like, if they made it really smooth, that'd be nice. But I super appreciate it. That's a really, very, very cool thing to have to do with that taxiway Victor. Man, that's nice. It's very nice. So, like, legit just goes underneath. Like, I mean, like, lower. That's pretty cool. Not gonna lie. From a distance, yeah. Okay. So if anyone like poses a question, yeah, which one doesn't look like the planet? Like that's dumb. They're both extremely high fidelity qualities of the planet. The question for you guys is, maybe it's not even which one's better. It's like which one's the one you want to get, right? It's a little thing. So they're a little more realistic with their texture colors for the airport runway. That runway is the same-ish color. That's interesting. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna take off. I'm just gonna do a takeoff run because I want to see these slopes. Because I'm worried. I am worried because there was an airport. I forgot. I don't know if it was Albuquerque or I remember. I think it was a short final design, Mr. X. Love that guy. Best, whatever. I can't stop saying praise. Where there was like a mesh that came with it or something underneath that you put it, a runway had like a ridge to a point where like if you landed on it, you get deflated tires, and that's like a thing real life, yet alone X-Plane. But, and that's a concern, right? As someone, like, you don't want to be fine having, like, I don't know, like 200 feet per minute, glide path. I don't know, that's probably really good, right? I don't know if you guys are, yeah, whatever. Landing on runway, just having your tires burst, and, like, I don't know, if you're flying on Vatson, they're gonna shout at you for stopping. Literally, that happened on some other scenery. I don't recall where tires burst because the senior editor had this super weird wedge, and, like, the plane like flipped, and then people at Vatson are not gonna know or care. Okay, so this is smooth. I like this. It's definitely smooth. It's very weird how it's kind of lopsided and stuff. I don't know if I necessarily like how it does that. I'm not gonna lie. I wish, like, realism for realism's sake, that's, I think, a little overkill for Mesh. Like, I think they went all out for Mesh. It looks like it compared to Nimbus. It looks like they really went all out, like went full on, like, we're gonna put mesh everywhere. We're gonna custom mesh the whole thing. This is gonna be great. But, like, there's no way there's a whole, 1 degree decline from the runway to this taxi. It's not possible. Maybe a slight bit, a little bounce. But is it that much? And there's another huge thing with a lot of people comparing developers, per se. Imaginesim and Nimbus. Nimbus is technically smaller. Imaginesim has been doing these huge things to prepare 3D FSX for a long time. Their Atlanta has been out for a long time. They have all these other scenes that have been out for a long time for FSX and P3D. Like, knowing how to make an airport is different from knowing how to make an airport X-Plane, right? There's that, and then there's the whole other thing. And then this also thing that does an X-Plane developer know how to make an airport and X-Plane, or like good enough. And we can see here that both are by developers who have made renditions earlier. But there's a huge thing of one developer has been making an X-Plane version for a long time, like 5 years, more than 5 years at this point, 5-ish years at this point. And there's the other who's new to X-Plane. Yeah, they've made Atlanta before, so they kind of understand what it means to have a detailed Atlanta, but not an X-Plane. Yeah, actually, I take it back. This PBR work is absolutely the bomb, man. It's great. Yeah, so they have this little decline here. That's nice. So they didn't go overkill with the slope here. It's only about 5 degrees. It gets slightly steep at the point, and yeah, that bounce. I don't think Delta wants to drive the planes down with the bounce while it's broken, whatever ever happened. But honestly though, so like, okay, comparing it, I don't know where I stand in, like, whether I want static aircraft or not. Nimbus is a clear example of, like, people who, go out full out with static and insides and all these intricacies. I'm not gonna use the word details because details probably is. I'm talking intricacies of, like, inside, these Delta buildings. Like, they showed it, and they showed planes inside, little cranes and stuff. That's kind of cool. But then there's also Imaginesim, which looks a little P3D-y in the sense that it's not as, like, physically real, or like it's in the same shape as it's supposed to be in real life. It's like, it doesn't pop out like X-Men, native X-Men things are. But it has a lot more details in it, or like more as in the sense, some small things like this Delta logo. But then also it doesn't have these openings. That's really cool. How, Nimbus had the opening. Yeah, you can't go in it. Like, honestly, if Imaginesim, okay, this is weird. I don't know why ATL for Imaginesim is just not coming up. That's concerning, to say the least. I don't know if that's an issue. Yeah, but the thing with static aircraft, and this also might be a little biased of an opinion because, as we saw, when I just loaded in to Imaginesim, of how, what was it? The airport didn't have like ground like vehicles and all the shebang and all that. It brings some life, right? Like, if you're flying on fast and whatever, it's those certain small things which bring you, I don't know if it brings you joy, but it brings you like that immersion level. Like, I can't, unfortunately I don't run X-Men on VR, so I can't, get that full on, realist, like I'm in the real virtual cockpit type vibe. But it's those certain elements that you see that there's moving ground vehicles, is the small things that just bring out a little bit. Which is weird. Like, I could probably look in the operations file for operations center. And let's see over here. So, yeah. They have parked vehicles. They don't have not parked vehicles, which is, yeah. Check on down. I really hope they actually do have Sam. Because that, if like Sam Jetway is moving, or it'd be a problem if I did something wrong. I might have to go check, because they have their operations file, which is great. I love how you can like put things you want, not have things you don't want. That's a cool feature. I think all developers of any type should have. Okay. Downloading something to use to download something else kind of overkill, like some sort of executable, or even if it's on. Oh wow, that is a bounce. Oh man, that was intense. Yeah, that mesh though. These guys went overkill with it, man. Like, I frequented this taxiway. I was pilot, obviously. In real life, it's not this steeply down. It generally curves a little down, but not so steeply. Oh wow, that is some bounce. Ugh. Yeah, you can clearly see they kind of went through. I don't know if that's another thing of maybe they just converted the whole airport over, because I don't know how long it takes to develop and completely make all these buildings and stuff, but I just have a big hunch. Again, they're not gonna tell us, right? They're not gonna tell us whether they just took it from their P3D and just stuck it in an X-Plane and did the whole convert thing, FSX to XP. But what is that difference? It's unfair to maybe compare this to other airports of completely different stature. And when I mean different stature, I mean just like different airports, like sort of final design tracks is Munich, Aerosoft's Frankfurt. First of all, those are generally more expensive airports. I think Munich might be the same-ish price, ballpark estimate, same price as these. But like the amount you get of like detail and precision, like how shiny. I don't know if it's the work of that guy that I appreciate or whatever, but man, I just love when I can physically see them popping out in his signature. I think it was his. I like those Lufthansa logos like actually coming out with so much detail, and yet, and it was weird because like FPS impact wasn't that, so I kind of wish developers would kind of more focus their efforts, as well as, I don't know, FPS efforts, like frame rates and all that, on certain things that, oh, my inner marker beaker is spinning out of control. Please disregard that. I'll try to tune that out. I don't know how to do that. Yeah. That must suck. I'm sorry. I'll try to. Yeah, I don't know if I can do that. Alright, so I'm just gonna turn into the F terminal over here. and realism's like I've been in this position from a real plane's point of view. Okay, so it looks like they have a little bit of clutter. Of clutter meaning, I mean clutter in a good way, of like stuff they have in the airport. Again, these angles of jetways. It's a tiny feature. It's not even a feature. It's a tiny detail which no one who lives in Atlanta will know and care. But then again, and like if you see it, it looks like Imaginesim. Like it looks faker and realer. If you, I don't know if you understand me at all. Nimbus literally looks like they kind of like building blocked it to shape, but like they actually did it and like put piece by piece over it. But this it reminds me more of Atlanta's unique terminal than just a building which happens to be 3D, which I kind of get from Nimbus. It doesn't seem uniquely Atlanta. Oh, that's fast. Okay, why is this not working? This is literally like a docking thing. It's supposed to work. That's actually stupid. What the heck? That's really stupid. That's supposed to work. Huh. Visual docking guides. Uh-oh. Yeah, okay, this is a bad bug of Sam. If this happens to you guys, where... Okay, let's see this. Is Atlanta in here? Yeah, if this happens to you guys, it's not because the scenery has a big issue or anything. It's because Sam has this kind of sort of thing of a bug where, like, the first time you go into it, like, all the jetways are there. Like, they technically can move. Like, let's go into this one. Yeah, that's a jetway. Kind of force it on. Oh, God. That's... Ooh. That is rough. That is not... That's... Hopefully, that's something they fixed. Imaginesim fixed. Hopefully, yeah. Let's hope. Please, God. Okay. But that's so weird. What the heck? It's like not moving. Yeah, this should be here, buddy. Yeah, so that's a little issue of Sam, where like it doesn't super work the first time you load in. The first time you load into an airport which like has Sam, but then after it should work after that if you're having any of those troubles. Okay. So like if you see my consensus, this looks more real. It looks more too real. Like it looks more to how the real one looks, shape, type, like what it looks like. But the Nimbus looks more realistic, like the building textures. So like Nimbus had stuff on here which weren't necessarily real in the sense of it was there. But then again, it's to a point of, look here, there's less details above, but then they're real things, like the curvatures. These are all real features of Atlanta Airport. And then, well, I think the control tower is basically the same on both. I think Nimbus had a little better job of PVR. That's the thing. Literally, they had their first thing that came out, which obviously didn't have PVR because it came out like before X-Plane 11 was even announced. Then they had their update of version 1, which came out in December 2017. So it's like, I don't know, like a good year of X-Plane. So that's like enough where they kind of understood PVR-ish. Like, plane developers had PVR publishing before that. And then they had another almost 2 years to kind of really go through. I think it was 2 years, right? Yeah, it was 2 years. Basically 2 years to refine their PBR even more. While Imaginesim literally just entered X-Plane 2019. Also, they're not used to like PBR and P3D is probably completely different. They're not used to it. So like, yeah, you could give them the benefit of the doubt, but then you can also not give them the benefit of the doubt in the fact that you're paying technically, like, pounds to dollars conversion wise is more expensive by like, I don't know, $2 or less than two. Actually, it's like $1 or $2. Imaginesim's more expensive, but relatively speaking, it's the same, if not whatever less. I don't know. Like, it's in pounds. I don't know why they priced in pounds. Oh yeah, look, it looks like they're very patchy, so it does very much look so that they just kind of went through, PBR on the fly did, because you can see that these are based on real things, but how they're all separate. Yeah, it's kind of weird how they're like all separate. I like it though. They got a good implementation. I think they had good practice. I don't know, like they had their. I don't super follow P3D news, but I think they said that they released their new version of Atlanta for P3D before X-Plane's version. And yeah, I'm guessing if you're a P3D viewer, probably already there. But like, back to comparison's sake, like textures alone, textures just by themselves, per texture, physically, like going to a building. Oh my god, I'm getting a cold. Going to a building. Oh no, what did I do? Going to a building. And why is my shift key not working? Okay, going to a building and just looking at it. You get better textures here. Or sorry, you get more textures. Like, you get more realistic versus real texture type things in Nimbus, but then you get more real things here. This looks real, right? These are real. All of these are really placed there. If you go on a map, they're really there. So that's a huge you want what you want type of deal, right? And then also, if you like static aircraft, this absolutely doesn't have static aircraft. Legit just doesn't have it. Like, I put AI density on medium. I don't know what that meant. Like, that was weird. I don't know if they like somehow were able to expose world traffic 3 to that. I deleted world traffic 3 due to something. I might reinstall it, get Just Flight, whatever. I'm not too certain of that. But in hindsight, like, textures alone is realistic versus real. So texture resolution wise, like, I think you would describe Nimbus as not texture resolution per se, but more like textures of how they look. Those buildings on Nimbus look like, I don't know, real buildings. Real buildings in the sense they are buildings. While these buildings in Imaginesim look like based on real life, but they don't necessarily look like buildings we construct as humans, right? It's that little pop of life in it. Like, I know this is more photorealistic. Like, hands down, this is way more photorealistic. Like, they went all out with all these minor details, but and Nimbus did it too. It's not like they didn't do it. Just these guys up and over them. Again, fans modeled, not animated. I don't have an opinion on that. I like how they kind of added these other things to it. That's pretty cool. I don't know if that's the thing they added after. I don't know if they, whatever. It was there. Beats me. But like, back to the point. This is it's weird because whenever, so it's rare actually in the X-Plane community for like payware things of the same to be released in general for a while. Let's just take a little gander into like the past a little bit. So even of planes, GR Design's A320/20 Neo came out in 2013, 2014, or way before, like 2011, or whatever, old. And the flight factors comes like 2017 is like early beta, and like 2000, it's not even V1 yet, it's still in beta. So it's like, yeah, you compare, but then it's a big age difference. And there's also things of similar nature, like Tolos A319 versus Flight Factor A320. They're similar, not same. Price is just like what Tolos is $70, Flight Factor is like $90, A319 and A320 respectively. Price difference, different type of aircraft. I mean, it's like this huge things. While this is literally both Atlanta, Hartsfield Jackson, Atlanta International Airport, both based on the latest layout from 2019, post $2 billion renovation. Both latest X-Plane technology. That's an advertisement feature that they have, what they say they have. Both PBR, both whatever, both have quirky things. Both include custom mesh. Both are not only released in the same month, they're released with 7 days from each other. Friday was Nimbus version 2, Friday is Imaginesim. I honestly would be kind of mad. I don't know who was first and whatever, but if I was a guy who talks about it for a while, it's like, okay, I'm contemplating, no one has done anything good for a thing in a while, okay, let's get our second wander into X-Plane. Remember, because Austin was first, Austin for X-Plane. Austin Bergstrom Airport was first, their little dabble into X-Plane. That went okay. I don't have it. I don't have it for a reason, because I don't really fly into Austin a lot. Maybe that could be because I didn't have this airport. I had this payware from like 2015. Stands up-ish, yeah. No PBR for that. But yeah, that's their first little thing into X-Plane. This is their second one. So it's I would feel bad if someone literally release comes around and be like, oh, like, not directly, but like, oh, we have features too. So it looks like these guys have really tried to play like a cat and mouse game, of like, not cat and mouse, sorry, who's best? Because there's probably two things that either of these two don't have that the other one does. AKA, this has SAM, and that, customizational executable, and that has the info screens and the color customization of the control tower and those little dome things, the coverings of the departure and arrivals drive area of the domestic terminal. Those are their advertised, they don't directly compare each other saying, we're better than them, so they don't talk about that at all. Honestly, they're going about it a little too coolly. They don't even, I don't think they even acknowledge each other. They both have really, like, besides those, each two things, they have the same things. PBR, advanced HDR lighting. I'm looking at the list right now. Numerous animations and vehicles. Like, come on. Where are animations, first of all? Like, here. I don't see any animations with that. Besides Sam. Which, honestly, is not... What's up with that anyway? Like, why does this not... Like, it has the markings for it. I don't know if that's a little bug or anything, but, no. Flicker. Another huge thing. This is the only flicker zone in the entire airport for Imaginesim. They have done a top-notch job without any flickering or anything. Nimbus still has that problem with, like, building flickering. If you zoom way out, you still see it. Here, there's obviously like some of those little tiny elements that kind of disappear as you zoom out. It's fine. Yeah. So, do you guys have like any questions or anything before I kind of go through a little bit more? And I've been going through like 2 hours of this thing. Yeah. Like, anyone who's asking, like, a lot of people have asked when I just said I'm gonna be streaming or whatever before, about this thing comparing, like, some people at school who, like, don't understand what, scenery for X-Men means. I would honestly not do this for most every other thing if there was the same situation, but this is literally the nearest situation, or nearest time. This is besides the fact that I love Atlanta. I completely biased opinion. I love it. I fly out of it way more than I should. Like in Expo. Sorry, I live here. Of course I'm gonna fly out of it in real life. And then I think that's a huge element. It's because I live here. It's also because that makes for why I'm picky about it. I'll be way pickier than someone who's not been here, or even people who have, or even people who live here. There are some people who literally don't care. Oh, that looks nice. Plane taking off. Where's it landing? I don't even know. Oh yeah, that's a takeoff. That's cool. Like that. That's actually pretty cool. But yeah. So I have like, I might have these opinions on it, but then, and that's like this whole thing, because for a while it's been Nimbus. Like, I've always, when Nimbus's original Atlanta wasn't the best it could be, like way back when. I remember I bought it in 2017, the beginning of 2017, not even like the end when the update came out. I was kind of disappointed. I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty disappointed. Because it had way too many features and it was really low quality back then. Now it's great. But like going through it, and then two developers literally releasing the same scenery. You can't interchangeably. You can't use it both on the fly. You can interchangeably use it. Like, one day do this, one day do that. But then that's stupid. First of all, it's a waste of money. Like, even if you got it like how I did with points. Like, I'm doing it just for the sake of you guys. And for my sake also, because I care. Got both. Even if you have enough reward points to get it for whatever free with points on the org, I think 750 points, very reasonable. And then Jala, another $30 from Imaginesim. It's not realistic to use both at the same time or whatever. It's like you choose one or the other. First of all, common sense, you're not going to pay for both. And yeah, it's not that drastic of a decision, it's just explained, but like, it's weird when you think about it. It's not like planes. You could technically, it makes more sense to buy two similar planes than, or two of the same plane than two of the thing, because the one couple features and things that you can deal with. And this is like, it's tedious to get rid and reinstall each time. Then it's also that whole headache of, not a headache necessarily, that like, that fulfillment that I need to get out of seeing this. Like, I've been to a few, several airports, and a lot of them aren't modeled and explained, but the ones that are to a certain point where maybe I feel satisfied, maybe I don't. And it comes to that. So, will you feel satisfied? Of course you'll feel satisfied. In my opinion, I'll feel satisfied with both. But it comes to specifically what your take is out of it. Imaginesim is... Actually, let me look up the exact you know, dollars to whatever. Can you see this? Zoom in. Okay. 24.99. No, no. yeah, this here link, and then Imaginesim. I don't know if this is something you guys care about, but like buying and stuff. X-Plane, as far as I know, most things in X-Plane have been kind of within the store.xplane.org store. Even Active Sky for X-Plane came to the org store, which I thought was nice. And I'm going to be honest, if it not were for some other determinants, that would have deterred me from getting, like, the fact it's in pounds and that's an upcharge. The fact it's in a different thing. The fact of all these things. That kind of did, like, again, I bought it purely out of testing reasons and purely out of, like, comparing, properly actually comparing. But, yeah, okay, sorry, so this is the Imaginesim link. But, yeah. Oh yeah, that's my point. I'm gonna wrap this up soon, so don't worry. I'm not gonna spend 3 hours on this, which I know will bore you guys. But yeah, that's the thing. Some people care about, like where you get things from and all that. I honestly don't mind. But yeah. So, well, I like these night textures. I don't know if this auto defaulted to night or not, but I like this kind of in between. Yeah, I think I made a good decision. I don't know. I don't know what you guys think. You guys post comments, whatever. If you're watching on the VOD, just post comments. What do you guys think? But yeah. Again, if you guys have experienced low frames, I honestly have not been getting low frames. I've been getting very good frames. I moved all my plugins out. I don't know if that helps. Plugins out. I don't know if that helps frames that much, but I did. And both of these sceneries are pretty much it's some weird thing with OBS. Like, I can see it being bad. So hopefully that's not too much of a problem. Yeah, it's choppy. It's choppy. But yeah. So tell me what you guys think. Again, I have both links in the description down below, and I don't know where to like end this out, but it's hard to say. I can't say buy this versus buy that. I can't do that. It's like, it's hard. Honestly, it's gonna be hard for me if I had that choice. If both of them came to me tomorrow, gave me that thing option tomorrow to return one, which in the hindsight just leave one. I honestly wouldn't know which one to pick, because right now, Imaginesim is staying in my custom scenery folder. When I mean that, I mean I'm not relinquishing a Nimbus's V2. I'm just not using it, right? Like, there will definitely be, this has happened so many times with different scenery, where like something breaks, something happens, the other one might just update, I don't know, make it very good, you want to switch. So I have that fortune right now of doing that. Most of you probably don't. It's wise if you can just go out and buy both. It's very wise if you can do that, if you didn't do that like me. But yeah, you know, take it as you will. Take my advice with a grain of salt, but it is hard. You know, it's hard. For me also, viewing these photos, I originally thought I was just gonna buy one and just look at the photos, look at videos of other people and buy one. But then I think really experiencing both, you know, gives that perspective, and hopefully you guys with this, you know, in-depth look at both, can think about what you guys really want for yourselves. You know, these aren't major life choices, obviously. It's literally buying scenery for simulation of the real world, so, and it's up to you for what you want, and if you buy whichever one you want, that's, like, I respect your decision. It's not like one is garbage and one is great. They're both good. It's just, at this point in time, I feel that the Imaginesim just does it more for me, and I'm not trying to put any blame to Nimbus simulations, or, you know, for any hate for any way or anything. Like, literally, Imaginesim's more expensive, and I paid straight up money for it. Nimbus simulations, I didn't have to pay actual money, I paid points. So in that sense, Nimbus should get the advantage. Should get an advantage in my opinion, but I still, despite literally paying just points, no real money for Nimbus, I still feel Imaginesim has some refinements and some besides the mesh, has some features and just enough. It has enough, and it has a way to go, but compared to Nimbus, it doesn't have a long way to go. Like, Nimbus doesn't necessarily have a whole marathon left, but they have features they need to add, or features they need to change. But they're both there. I would just say Imaginesim is a little ahead. That's all, just a little. But thank you guys so much for, you know, watching, viewing, anything. Let me just take this quick screenshot for the VOD. Thank you guys so much. I know it's a lot. Hopefully, guys, you really like take into consideration whichever one because you want. It shouldn't matter really. It's just an airport for a thing. If you're content with default, I don't blame you. I really don't. Why is this not taking a screenshot? What the heck? That's weird. I'll go screenshot. Shift space. Okay. Actually, let me go there. Oh, that's great. That's great. to do as a little outro. So, thank you so much for watching this. Hopefully you guys, enjoyed it, really got your perspective. Thank you.